During the actual 5 days of Hajj, you wear what's called the Ihram, and for men. And the Ihram is essentially two pieces of cotton cloth. One is wrapped around your waist and one is wrapped around your shoulder. It's a state that you enter. You enter with intention, with prayer, and then there are things that can break that state.
Losing your patience, becoming angry, all these things aggravate your state of ihram. Ihram really signifies the wrap or the shroud that a person wears or dons at the time of death. So by all these men in ihram, during the time of Hajj, it's really supposed to remind a person of the Day of Judgment.
It's almost like a diaper, so it symbolizes like the return to like infancy, that innocence, and that humility. So it was very humbling to have to wear that the whole time, and very hot, and it was just a struggle.
In our culture, we spend so much time judging ourselves and others by what they wear, and there was none of that in Hajj. So it just shifted the focus again back to the internal as opposed to the external that most of us are used to culturally.
Everyone being in the same attire really just shows you that basically we are all human beings, in spite of all our class and racial and ethnic distinctions. When it really boils down to it, we're all residents of the planet Earth.
So men have their own dress. They have a specific dress requirement. But with regard to women, as long as you're wearing modest clothing and your head is covered, you're free to wear whatever you like. So for me, I wore the traditional black Arab abaya, the long one, and I wore a scarf, and that was it.
So the abaya is a long, loose cloak that pretty much covers the entire body, neck down to the feet. And it's accompanied with a head cover. I chose a white one. I think the color white made me feel in harmony with the Hajj experience.
White is the most common because of white symbol the pure, and so that's why I choose white.
Well, I didn't have access to the clothing very much, so I got some online and some from my country of origin, which is Egypt. I have relatives who live there, so they purchased it and sent some, and some of them sent me some of their own. They felt like just even having the clothing go back to this holy place was valuable.
I wore mostly, a combination of traditional South Asian clothing, so sometimes some shalwar kameez, because it would cover properly. They're really light. They're made for the hot weather, and you can even cover your feet. So it was recommended to me wear padded socks so that while you're walking, you have some sort of support. And you see some people who don't have the option of having socks on their feet or have the option of staying in going back to a nice hotel when they're done. It really puts it in perspective.
Obviously, the big highlight of the Hajj is making the circuit around the Kabah, which we call the house of God, which we believe was established by Prophet Abraham, peace be upon him. And we don't believe God literally lives in there, but that's definitely one of those moments that stuck out for myself, is finally walking in through the pillars of the sanctuary, and you finally just see, okay, here's the Kaaba.
Because as Muslim, you pray daily, you're facing the Kaaba. Right now, you are just in front of that, and just overwhelming that, and just keep on, the tear keep on falling.
I just felt part of history. I just felt every moment. I just felt the gravity of everything that was happening.
It's like being in a giant shopping mall where everything is made of marble. Like there's escalators and there's crowds of people and there's multiple floors. And you actually can't see the Kaaba from the outside or even from the inner rings. You have to sort of make your way into this very complicated structure to get to the center. Even though that's really the beginning, because you start at the Kaaba and then you go off to Mina and Arafah and these other places, and then you come back to the Kaaba. But I sort of had this sense like I was completed the moment I began.
So you walk in, and what they tell you to do is not look up until you've got so far in that you can see the Kaaba in front of you. And I did that. I followed instructions. And it was worth every minute of it, because you walk in and it's these enormous marbled halls, and you walk through, and then in front of you is this Kaaba. And I cannot explain to you the feeling. It's overwhelming. And then all of a sudden, everyone's doing the same thing. And you have your space. And you are contemplating your relationship with God. You're thinking about where you are in the journey. You're thinking about how you're developing within your faith, what this is meaning to you. Where are you going to go with this? And with those thoughts, by the time you don't even realize that you've gone 7 times around.
I just remember kind of just feeling like I was just in this motion, saying certain prayers, but just feeling that energy and looking up and seeing the birds flying around, because no one talks about it all the time, but the birds are very much in line with the direction that the people are walking in.
Because I listened to other people's stories, I expected that the moment that I first saw the Kaaba that I was going to be overcome, and I was not. But as we started to do the tawaf, then I lost myself, because the motion of joining this momentum of people, and it's like the magnitude of the Kaaba itself. We call it the magical cube.
I felt joy. It was just a happy moment.
Oh, I was blessed to get Kiss the Stone, which is quite an endeavor, because you're almost taking your life in your hands, because there's so many people going around, and you got to kind of cut through the crowd and get there, and then it's encased in this big silver thing with this black rock, and I guess so many people have kissed it that it's really indented. They say it's a meteorite that fell somewhere, and they put it there. And so I knew that. So he said, if you can't get to it, you can wave to it as you go around. So I was happy to do it, but I didn't feel that it was going to be some life-changing event. It's just a rock. We worship Allah. We don't worship the rock.